Oh, look at that. Oh, I guess we're live because I never get a countdown, so whatever.
That's funny.
So, welcome to Collector's Hideout, the podcast where I really don't know what we do anymore. We just kind of talk about different shit every week,
We exist.
and we're still trying to figure it out. But tonight we're discussing fucking Mega Man because two of these guys here have been arguing about Mega Man for the past 3 months. And then our other guest has decided to come in and help argue against one. So here we are. And I'll introduce our guys. We've got Psycho as usual. How you doing, brother?
What's up?
Still calling yourself Hugo Strange.
I did not do that. Tony did, and I don't know how to get rid of it. So it's stuck there. It's not on my option when I log in to change it. So I can't do anything about it.
That's hilarious. Shellhead Tony, thank you for doing that because it's hilarious. He's a little flirtatious smile. And tonight we actually, for our first time ever, we have a special guest. You've told me how to pronounce this shit before, and my mind understands it, but when I read it, it fucks me up. So, Kid Makinet. Right?
Yep. Makinate is the correct
version. Or Victor.
Or Victor. We'll do that.
Welcome to the show, Victor. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having.
Just I guess to give you guys a little bit of background.
See if you feel that way when we're done.
I was saying, just to give you guys a little bit of background, we've been friends with Victor for a really long time now, about 20 years. And Victor is a Mega Man enthusiast, and Victor is a Mega Man archivist, right? Like, if you have questions about Mega Man, you go to Victor, as you can see by the numerous Mega Man statues behind Victor, the Mega Man shirt that he is wearing. I'm sure somewhere he's got the Mega Buster. He's got the Mega Man hat. I probably wouldn't be surprised if he had those crazy furry Mega Man boots that people wear. And I'm honestly genuinely surprised that Victor's not wearing his Mega Man costume, unless that's not a thing. But
it's not.
I once saw a movie called Mega Buster, but it wasn't about Mega Man. So,
were we trying to not get canceled?
Apparently, we're giving up on that.
We pushed the limit. So, who's it? Oh shit, Gustavo's actually watching tonight. Holy crap, Gustavo never watches one of us. He's like, oh, drinks and toys only.
Is it?
What's going on, Gustavo? So no, that's not Gustavo anymore.
That's Joe and his grandmother checking in from beyond the grave.
Wow.
I feel underprepared, although I technically have an IPA in the fridge.
Joe, ask Grandma why do all the fucking cookie tins have sewing kits in it? Ask Grandma that shit, please. Fucking annoying. And then no, Gustavo, this is not a 3 versus 1. This is a 2 versus 1 because I don't give a fuck. So
fair enough.
And then shit, Jose's here too. The Cuban guy is in. He was actually going to try and join us, but I guess he got tired or something from what I'm being told. So, hey, cool. Thanks for joining early, guys. Appreciate it. And
well, you know what they say about Jose.
Fight. Mega Man 6 is amazing. Mega Man 6 Stokes. Let's go.
All right, so that's not how it's boiled down at all. I never said Mega Man 6 Stokes. All right. What I said, because Tony proclaims Mega Man 6 to be the best game of all time, and we're going to get into that because I'm fairly confident that Victor doesn't even agree that Mega Man 6 is the best Mega Man game of all time. But what I said was that Mega Man 2 is better than Mega Man 6. That's kind of how I put it. But I never said Mega Man 6 Stokes, just to clarify.
So I know we don't have an outline, but are we sticking to classic or are we going across all the sub-series?
Well, I mean, Mega Man is Mega Man. So if Tony's argument is Mega Man 6 is the best, then Mega Man 6 is the best.
Mega Man is not just Mega Man all the way across the board at all. The games become completely different the later you get into the series. It's less Mega Man, and you could call it something else, in my opinion.
I mean, Cuban guys.
The premise is there. It's still a guy with one hand cannon, but it's less Mega Man and more. I don't even know what you would call it, but
My
not
hand's
because it
not
takes
my
away from
hand.
traditional. I just think the game goes too broad.
Well, I mean, they get rid of Mega Man as the main character. You have Bass as the main character in some of the later games after he's introduced. So I don't know.
So I get maybe some sort of so to give more context, right? Because like I said, Mega Man has different sub-series. So if we're sticking to strictly the platformer games, which I think would make it easier,
Probably.
if we stick to just platformers, we're talking classic, we're talking X, we're talking the Mega Man Zero series, and we're also talking the ZX series. In classic, I would include Mega Man and Base because a lot of people know that as such from people who either acquired a Super Nintendo version of it or decided to sail the high seas and get access to it. I ain't judging. Or, got it on GBA, which was a decent port, except you couldn't see half the screen, which made an already hard game even harder. So,
Jose, that's
we
one.
got to maybe have some guidelines
for you.
Somewhere.
That is one sweet chin music for Jose. Mark it down. Put it
such
down.
a great character that they named, Jack Skellington's dog after. Like, what the fuck?
So it's. I think like I guess okay. We're drifting into character like itself, and I don't know so much. And maybe I'm not clear, but it wasn't so much the characters themselves. I wasn't trying to focus on this character is better than this character. It's more the game itself was better than this game, and I think Mega Man 6 was, in my opinion, the best general all-around Mega Man game. All the Wily characters you got to fight, the way they did each individual bot. I know every game, classic game, kind of like follows the same format. You kill this guy, his weapons kill this guy, and so on and so forth. I mean, that was the fun part of the game, was getting ready to or figuring out who shit killed who. You know what I mean? Like when you first played the game, like if you didn't cheat and look it up. I mean, we didn't, as kids, all we had was Nintendo Power and stuff like that, and word of mouth.
Apparently, a fucking hotline you guys keep telling me about.
Fucking right.
It's what you had to figure out who killed what.
Call the hotline, dial the wrong number, get some sexy blonde. Like, it's weird.
Then it's win-win. Who cares?
But I guess to that point, that's why I say Mega Man 6. I feel played all the classics and played a majority of the later ones that just got, after a while, I just shut down because it just didn't do it for me anymore. Didn't feel like Mega Man anymore.
Here's what. Which one was 6?
Mega Man 6 was the last one on the NES, and it was I'm fairly certain Proto Man was in that game, right? Like, wasn't Proto Man prominent in Mega Man 6?
He's not a playable character.
No, but he's in the game. Like, he's prominently in the game, featured in the game.
He was much more prominent. Like, I guess you could say his game of the NES games was 5. Because that's where he was put out as the villain, but wasn't actually.
Because, like, I was telling Psycho that I've played. I know I've played Mega Man. I can't tell you what Mega Man I've played, but it would have had to have been between the NES and the SNES. Like, I remember the graphics being like the real little blue guy graphic. Then it got a little bit bigger, and then that was it. I never played Mega Man again after that. So I don't even know which one I played. But whichever one I played is obviously the best because I played it. So, like, I'm gonna play one.
That sounds like something John would say.
Was it?
Might be a perfect segue into the ones that John has played.
Was it? Was the cover art cartoonish, or did it look like a real person, an old fat man?
Right, because I don't remember it yesterday. You think I'm gonna remember the fucking cover art?
Well, I mean, it would help us narrow it down, right? Like, so if it looked like an old fat man, it was Mega Man 1. And if it was cartoonish, it was Mega Man 2 through 6.
So, like, just real quick, within just strictly the NES games, I would probably have to agree with that 6 would be the best. However, we can get into all this, like, technicalities. I have notes.
Yeah,
it just really depends on how we want to do this.
So here's what happened. Victor's like, I'm going against John. I'm bringing notes to stay on topic. And
I don't need them. I don't need them to make my point. Let's get that clear. But I have them, assuming that there's some sense of order here, which I'm quickly realizing there is not.
Victor said, "I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it."
Right.
It's fair. It's a fair assessment.
All right, so I guess I'll start this off. I already talked to Tony about it last week. We mentioned it, and I said it again today when I was talking to Chris. The fact of the matter is, for the most part, I don't particularly give a shit. Like, I say Mega Man 2 is better than Mega Man 6 to piss Tony off because I find it fun. But as I told Tony the other day, my personal favorite Mega Man is Mega Man 1. Like, Mega Man 1 for me, I think is my favorite. It was the first Mega Man game I ever played. I thought the Robot Masters in that game were better. It could be nostalgia. It could be the fact that I played that game and watched the cartoon, and the majority of the people that were in the cartoon were also in the first Mega Man game, and a couple of them were in the other Mega Man games. So maybe that has a lot to do with it. But what started this all way back when was when Tony said something about Mega Man, and this was back before I was on any of these podcasts, and I was in the chat, and I said that Mega Man 2 was better than Mega Man 6 because without Mega Man 2, there would be no Mega Man 6, right? I don't know. I will say this, though, going back over things the last several days to kind of refresh in my mind, because it's been a good 15 years since I played any of these Mega Man games seriously. I do think that the Robot Masters that are presented in Mega Man 2 are better than the Robot Masters presented in Mega Man 6, and I kind of looked up what they were. So just kind of as a reminder, in Mega Man 1, we had Cutman, Gutsman, Iceman, Bombman, Fireman, and Electman. In Mega Man 2, we had Metal Man, Airman, Bubble Man, Quick Man, Crash Man, Flash Man, Heat Man, and Wood Man. And in Mega Man 6, we had Nightman, Centaur Man, Flame Man, Blizzard Man, Plant Man, Tomahawk Man, Wind Man, and Yamato Man.
Holy
and
crap,
of those,
men.
yeah, of those, the only one that I remember like clearly from Mega Man 6, and remember thinking it was really cool was Windman, the giant like fan guy. And
that's so weird of all characters. That's the one you gravitated towards. But go ahead.
I just thought that one was the most interesting.
Which one was that? Windman?
No, that was Windman. And it was indicative of the game, right? Because the game blows. So, you know.
He's been saving that up all day.
Yeah.
He's been,
no.
He's been waiting for his moment on that one.
No. Victor said it, and nobody mentioned it, so I decided to take it and say it as well. But
plus, I thought
still jokes like Carlos Mencia.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, if we're being honest, and that joke was stolen from me like 20 years ago when we were at that party, and there was Hurricane Chris, and I was like, I know why he's named that, because he blows, right?
Yeah, you didn't. Well, you also don't like rap music, but yes.
Well, no, but that actually was accurate at the time, and I do like some rap music, but that was trash music. Anyhow, I just think that the list of Robot Masters got weaker and weaker as the series went on. Thanks for your input, Jose. Next time I want it, I'll give it to you. Anyhow.
Oh, you're gonna give Jose something.
Yeah, one sweet chin music. He already got that up there when he said something stupid. He gets one sweet chin music already. That's one. But I mean, looking at the list, I think that the Robot Masters got weaker and weaker and less interesting as the series went on. I know part of it is there's only so many different things you can do, right? Especially with an NES, especially working on an 8-bit platform. There's only so many different things that you can do. But I don't know. I thought that
I'm still confused by your logic of 2 is better than 6, because without 2 there would be no 6. Like,
yeah, because it was just a funny comment to make to piss Tony off originally.
Gotcha.
I'm just trying to. What I'm trying to do is give the background so that we can be accurate. Just moving forward. But Yeah, I mean, and who was it? It was Jose in the chat saying Mega Man 2 drastically improved on what was introduced in the original.
100%.
And so, like, I think just from a pure evolutionary standpoint, right, Mega Man 2 has a leg up on Mega Man 6. Obviously, things changed. Graphics got a little bit better. Gameplay got a little bit tighter. But look at everything that Mega Man 2 was able to do as early as it was able to do. And then the other Mega Man games were just trying to emulate that, right? Like, they were just trying to hold on to that. And again, sometimes you have to say something for the originator of something, right? And so Mega Man 1 was a great game, but Mega Man 2 kind of changed the game. Right? It Mega Man 2 is the entry that, in my opinion, solidified what the Mega Man franchise would be moving forward. And it was such a drastic evolution that all the games that came after that, you really didn't see that type of evolution coming from it. Not that much actually changed from what I can remember.
All right. So, rebuttal. Because Psycho said a lot.
If you thought that was a lot, I can definitely go on for a while here. So maybe
you go on. As long as we don't put people to sleep, we're good.
Okay. So here's the thing, right? And I'm gonna keep this to, I guess, the NES games, just to give some sort of order here, but also touch on the ones that John has specifically talked about. One is rough nowadays. And it's the start. It's expected, right? It's rough / depending on how you want to look at it, possibly bad. And the reason why is there's two key examples in Iceman stage. Those platforms that are on that stage that fire at you and have googly eyes, they also appear in the Wily stage later. And you can literally land on these things pixel perfect and fall straight through them. That's just flat out bad game design. Okay? That's one thing. Here's something else. On that same stage, when you use the magnet beam, apparently if you use it and stretch out the magnet beam to completely surpass the you can totally cheese that platforming section because you can just use the magnet beam, fire it straight forward, and walk across. If you keep doing that and like going towards the sky, and I didn't know this until I recorded a video for the Mega Man cover band, by the way. I got permission to use their music. Shameless self-plug. But while doing this, I went too far up and I just died. Period. I died.
Silver Surfer.
Yeah. Just
no
reason. I just died. Did not know that was possible. It's also the only Mega Man game in the classic series to have points for whatever reason, because they don't do anything for you. So that's another little tidbit, right? You also can get to the first Wily stage of the game with no magnet beam, in which case you literally have no way to beat the stage and you have to go back and revisit the stage. The knockback in that game is also the worst that it is in any of the games. Mega Man feels slightly sluggish in this game in comparison to the other ones in the NES era. And you have no iframes for when you hit spikes. So if you get knocked back, going back to these same googly eye platforms in Wily Stage 1, if you get knocked back, you have no time to recover whatsoever. You're just insta-dead from those spikes. And also, for a newcomer, I would not recommend that. That's where I'd be like, you can skip the first one, just play 2. 2's the fan favorite. No one's denying that. There's a lot for it, but we're going to get into that. But the first game, it's very rough to try to get into now, and good luck beating the Yellow Devil without the pause trick, because it is pretty damn challenging. It's one of the hardest in the classic series to date.
So, I guess then my question comes down to Tony. You love 6 for one reason or another. What's the reason? Why do you feel 6 is the game?
Well, the first one is the first one, right? So I'll agree.
That's how the first one works.
Well, I'm getting there, jackass. So it's pretty much like everybody would describe it. I wouldn't disagree with anybody on the first game. There's a whole lot of skips you can do. I've watched about 1,000,000,001 speed runs on the game, and I've seen all the tips and tricks and all that bullshit. And I don't enjoy playing the game at all. I agree. It's like Mega Man sucking peanut butter when you're trying to do shit in the game, and it's very frustrating to try to be more fluid. And as you progress in the games, obviously his movements are easier to manipulate or whatever with the joypad or whatever. But as far as Mega Man 6 is concerned, I like the levels better. I like the way they design the levels better. I feel like most of with the exception of, is it Gemini Man? I think that he's got the little fish and shit you got to shoot through the colored bubbles. Is that his level?
That makes sense.
Yep, that's Gemini Man in the third one.
So I think aside from his level, I like the Mega Man 6 levels and the design of the levels better than the earlier games. Not that they don't look cool. I just like the designs better. I like where they put the enemies, and how you can time everything. And I feel like, and maybe it's easier. Maybe that's why I like it. But I feel like when you play it, I'm not gritting my teeth as much as the earlier Mega Man games. Like I feel like there's more room for error for Mega Man 6, but I enjoy the stories better. Or stories, right? They're all the same shit. But I enjoy the gameplay. I like the bots better. I like the wily villains better. And I do like the fact that we get the Rush jetpack. That's awesome.
Yes.
POW Mega Man, I only used him a couple times, like, to go back and hit up those, like little hidden areas or whatever where you can get more, power-ups and all that kind of crap, or cut through a level. Because at least not to my knowledge, I don't know of any skips in Mega Man 6, whereas the earlier ones you can skip like half the fucking game, just by doing a little glitch, and all of a sudden he drops down and shoots all the way the hell over to like the end of the game. I don't know if there being anything like that in Mega Man 6, and maybe that's why there's all those little secret levels like throughout the game that you can go once you get Rush Jet, once you get POW, and then of course the bird, fucking I think Beak or whatever the fuck his name is, I can't remember.
Beat.
Beat. He was cool too. It was a cool addition to the game, and it was just, if you were trying to speed through an area and you didn't want to worry about fighting any of the bots or what have you, you just let him run, and you can just basically outrun him, and you would be fine. So I enjoyed the game for those reasons, and the earlier ones didn't have a lot of those perks. Yeah, the Mega Buster. I mean, that was about it.
Yeah. The other game.
I'm sorry, you could stand on Rush and go about a quarter of a mile an hour across the screen. When he turns to like a fucking flying skateboard or whatever the hell it was, the Rush Jet.
The older games you had to get good or get fucked.
So being used to, I guess, Coil, Marine, Jet, all the parts up till 6, that's fair. That's a fair point if someone wanted to argue that. But I do agree that I think that like the whole like merging with Rush instead, you still got the Jet. It was just in a different form. But you could also use it as much as you wanted, right? Like you hold the button. Yeah, it runs out eventually. It's a cooldown, but then you could just use it again. And this came in handy towards like the later stages. You were basically forced to use it to learn how to turn that on and off to avoid like certain spikes and whatnot. I do think 6 overall is better for a lot of the reasons that you mentioned. But I do want to pivot back over to 2 because 2 is the easy fan favorite. And plus, I also think it's the easiest of the classic series. It makes it like the go-to easily, right? But there are some things that get skipped over when it comes to talking about 2. Because again, it's a fan favorite. Like everybody loves it. Here are the arguments, because my personal favorite back in the day was 3. I would still say it is, but looking at it without rose-tinted glasses, I've gone back to each of these games to kind of like review them again, for lack of better terminology. So with 2, right, you have Wily Stage 1. People that haven't even played Mega Man know that theme. It is one of the best Mega Man themes, not just in Classic, but throughout all of Mega Man. Wily Theme 1, everybody knows. And it's great. Wily Theme 2, however, has to be the complete opposite, where it's actually a terrible, terrible theme in the game that just mostly loops itself. Like, I don't see... If you minus that from the entire soundtrack, it's a 10 out of 10 soundtrack. Take out that one song, you have a perfect soundtrack. No one's taking that away from Mega Man 2. But then you have the weapon balancing, right? The Metal Blade, you don't need any other weapon in the game. It's too good. It's broken as shit. You get the Metal Blade, you win the game. It doesn't matter if you're on normal or difficult. You just spam the fucking thing. You can use it like 5 times before you lose a single little bar off your weapon health. You just cheese the whole game with the weapon. It's terrible balancing. And then also, and I don't know how this gets looked over, I think it's Wily Stage 3, where the boss is technically called the Boo Beam Trap. Right? You need the Crash Bomb in order to beat the boss, but also to destroy the walls in front of these things. Right? First off, they fire at you all at the same time, so good luck avoiding that shit. You could use the pause trick and avoid it that way, but you know that's cheating, so we won't talk about that. But you know, the other thing is, unless you do this in a very specific order where you're taking advantage of the items that like raise you off the ground, like item 1 specifically or 3, unless you're making very careful use of these things and placing your crash bombs in the exact right places, you don't have enough weapon energy to actually beat the boss, get fucked, die, and go farm energy and come back. Terrible design. And
I mean,
a lot of people glaze over that fact when talking about 2.
It sounds to me like
6 is better than 2.
no. It sounds to me like that's just some difficulty, and maybe you should get good and know what you're doing.
Have
So
you ever
funny
beat
thing
6?
about
What?
It's funny.
You ever beat
The funny
this?
thing that somebody who cheats in a lot of games he plays would say. So, all right.
All right. What game do I cheat in?
I mean, GTA's.
How do I cheat in GTA?
You glitch the shit out of them all the time, but we're not. Stop trying to act like I'm holier than thou. But you
I'm
cheat
just
like a
saying, like, if
motherfucker
you're
in
gonna
games.
say I'm cheating, tell me how I'm cheating. That's what I want to know.
I literally just told you. And then you overpower your teams. Like, yeah, no. Let's not get into that. You cheat like a motherfucker in games.
No, I don't think so.
So, of course you don't, because you like. Of course not. It's different. We know. So,
All right, continue.
with the exception of 1, you kind of have to put 2 through 6 all in the same category control wise, because Mega Man controls absolutely phenomenal. There's past the NES era, which will, you know, if we have time, we'll get into that as well. But with the exception of 1, because he's kind of sluggish, and I'm going to go back to the comment made about, you know, Mega Man and peanut butter. I get your point, but there's a better example past the NES era for that. So we'll get to that too. But 2 through 6, Mega Man controls great. Tight controls, not too loose, not too heavy. Controls, like, I would give them the highest score throughout each of the games. I think as a platformer, this is something I put above Sonic or Mario, where they're more.
All right,
floating.
that's going too far. Not above Mario.
Well, you know, that's
Not
okay.
above Mario. Sorry,
that's okay. You know,
we're not doing that. What we're not going to do is sit in here and blaspheme, right, the control schemes of Mario, which are absolutely almost perfect, right? Like, we're not. What we're not going to do is that.
Okay.
So I guess what I would be curious then, Victor, because everything you're saying is obviously from the viewpoint of somebody who loves the franchise. You have dealt with the franchise for 30 plus years, so you've gotten to know it. But the question I would then have is, when you were a kid and you didn't give a shit about, the controls are, the greatest controls ever, this and that. Like, we didn't worry about that shit when we were kids. We just played the games.
Right.
As a kid, what was the better game versus all the technical stuff you learn later on to appreciate a game more? You know what I mean?
Great question. Perfect segue again. So into part 3, right? This is still even though I can acknowledge the issues with it, it's still my favorite Mega Man game. Because everyone that's like, oh my God, 2's better. And like, I get it. But my argument was always with 3, you literally get more game, right? You have more levels that you can play to have a longer lasting game. And, you want 2? Cool. It's in the game. The dock robots that you fight after the 8 robot masters, you go back, you do revisit 4 of the stages, but it's a thing called dock robot. And the dock robot imitates 2 per level of each of the robot masters from Mega Man 2. So you like those robot masters? Cool. They're in there. The other thing too is you have to rediscover their weaknesses because you don't have the 2 move set. You have all the weapons from 3. So you have to rediscover what those weaknesses actually are. So that usually was one of my biggest arguments for people that were like, oh, well, 2's better. I hear you, but you can literally access those robot masters within that game. The other thing too is I do think the robot masters were cooler in that game in particular. The Shadow Blade is the equivalent to the Metal Blade in 2, but it doesn't completely break the game. It's more balanced. Weapon energy is still pretty low, but it's not as damaging. It doesn't make the game as easy. Past that, I do think the music as well was better than 2, because I actually think that's a no skip soundtrack for the NES series.
Never even considered music to be part of this.
Here's
Never paid attention to it.
Music is huge for the Mega Man series.
Yeah.
I think it's some of the, whether you play the games or not, one of the best soundtracks, no matter which game we're talking about, to hear on the NES. There are obviously other good competitors, the Mario games, Contra, so on and so forth. But
don't try and be nice to Mario now because John got all pissy.
I don't think you can compare.
Look, I don't dislike Mario. I just like my tight platforming controls, and I'm sorry if that makes people mad. Except I'm not.
Victor, we get it, man. We all prefer
it. Controls better.
We all prefer the tightness. We understand, brother. We get it.
Yes.
The soundtracks for Mega Man, I don't think you can compare those to Mario. Not like not in a negative light, I guess you could say, but Mario just doesn't hold a candle to it. There's iconic sounds. You know what I mean? Every time you go in a dungeon, they play the same thing, so that's original. But when you play Mega Man, all the music for the Mega Man games is different in each game, and it's engaging for the characters that you're playing. Not so much Super Mario.
So here's something I didn't know, but Mega Man 1 came out in December of '87 in Japan and in the US. It took 3 years. It took 3 years for the game to be released in Europe. It didn't. The first Mega Man game was not released in Europe until 1990, May of 1990. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know why it took 3 years. It couldn't have been localization, but who knows?
They were waiting on 6.
So real quick, because I'm seeing like all this chat, and we're being terrible hosts and not like acknowledging a good chunk of it. But I see that we have to go back to the Mega Man and Peanut Butter before we get past the NES games, because in chat was mentioned the Game Boy Mega Man games. And holy fucking shit, those games were only hard because Mega Man controlled like ass. Like, let's just be honest. But the whole thing with the Game Boy games, they're almost not even worth talking about. Like, it's cool to have like a portable version of these same games, but 1 through 4 were basically the NES games. Like, the way it worked was 1 combined bosses from 1 and 2, and then you keep doing that moving forward up through 4, right? So we had like 1 and 2 in the first game, and then I think it was 2 and 3 or 3 and 4 in the second game. Like, we kept doing that all the way through 4. Whereas Mega Man 5 had completely original bosses that were based on the planets, which by association made it instantly the best one to play and has some great music. The complete opposite side of the spectrum is Mega Man 2 on the Game Boy has some of the worst music, not just in Mega Man, but in the entirety of gaming. It is fucking absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible.
I mean,
Specifically the boss theme. It's all bad.
I think that we have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. The best Mega Man theme is actually the Mega Man theme from the TV show, right? Like, if we're going to talk about the music, we have to acknowledge the fact that the best Mega Man thing wasn't even in the game; it was in the TV show, hands down, best song in Mega Man history.
The Ruby Spears Mega Man TV theme.
Yep.
You can't deny the super fighting robot.
I'd play it, but then we would get in trouble.
Well, I effectively
30 seconds.
With those words said, that's about like half the words of the entire theme. So I mean, I think we're good there. We'll just take your word on that.
Oh man. No, I mean, again, like for me, my favorite is Mega Man 1. I actually have only played through the others one time, really. And that was years ago. And Victor's like, "Hey, did you play the other Mega Man games?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Why not?" And I was like, "I don't know. I like the first one. That was kind of it." And he's like, "You got to play the other one." So then we played the other ones. I don't know. And then I think I revisited it when I bought the Legacy Collection for the Switch. And they had like all the games. I bought the Legacy Collection, the NES games, and then the X Collection. And to this day, I've only ever played Mega Man X. So I've never played any of the other X games.
So it's funny. It's like when you watch like speed runs, right? So if they're not using the actual machine, most of those guys are running emulator on Xboxes. And I find it crazy that they play them on the Xboxes and you don't see anything that looks like there's an issue. You know what I mean? Like nothing's lost in translation with the emulator.
Yeah.
Like it plays like the original. But I went ahead and downloaded the Mega Man collection on PS5.
Burn.
And I'll argue that while playing the Mega Man collection on PS5 does not have the same fluid mechanics as if I picked up a original Nintendo and threw the cartridge in. I think there's something lost in translation for the PlayStation, and I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. I'm not that technical.
Yeah, I mean,
and it might be muscle mechanics. Like as a kid, I can remember holding the Nintendo remote and having the muscle mechanics of how you would play it and how you would let your hands slide on the directional pad or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to do it on a PlayStation and you don't have that same feeling holding the remote. So it's like a totally different gameplay experience. So that might be it also, but I definitely don't feel like the mechanics are there. It does not feel the same.
I think that definitely has a lot to do with it, Tony, because with the Switch, they have the classic games, right? You can go online, you can play the classic games. And there are some games that you can play with the new console controllers, right? Whether it's the Pro controller or whether it's the actual Joy-Cons or whatever. But then some of the games I'm playing and I'm like, this is ass. I have to actually break out the Nintendo re-released Bluetooth controllers of the original controller to actually play it and for it to be enjoyable and do what I want it to do. And again, like you said, I don't know if it's muscle memory. I don't know if it's nostalgia, but the game feels like it's missing something, like something is not working the way that it's supposed to, unless you have that original controller.
I feel like a good chunk of that is just nostalgia because you're like, oh, your mind, like I played this game, I had the memory of this game with this controller. If you don't have that controller, you're missing half of the memory.
Yeah, it's a very real possibility.
That's why if you're playing specifically on the Switch and you maybe get the collections for them, you got to get either, you got to be a Nintendo Network subscriber, but you get yourself a good old Bluetooth NES or SNES controller for if you're playing the X or the classics, X series or the classic series, and then there you go, problem solved. John's gonna go get it.
I don't have it.
Of course it is.
I didn't even know that thing was. I didn't know that was a thing for the Switch. I never play my Switch; it just sits around.
It's not exclusive to the Switch, but like personally, since Mega Man and Castlevania are like my two big franchises, like since I was a kid, so like it's cool to have collections. See, I knew he was getting that shit.
Are your paws that big, or is it the remote that small?
No, I mean I have pretty big hands.
It is kind of tiny.
Well, I mean, it's actually a 1-to-1 recreation. It's just without a cord of the original controller. It's made with the same materials. It's done the same way. It's just Bluetooth. And then you have the SNES controller.
That is cool as shit.
Same way. They did the N64. And then they did the GameCube recently.
You fucking got all of them.
Yep. I also have the Genesis controller because they released a Sega Genesis controller. But of course, here in America, we only got the 3-button, and in Japan, if you bought it, you got the 6-button. So the next time my cousin goes to Japan, I'm going to ask her to try to find me a 6-button controller. But yeah, I mean, this is absolutely the way to play those old games. It's like it's like it was when you were a kid.
I know.
Stay tuned. However many episodes in, where John shows us a $20 cardboard. Or a $100 piece of plastic for the Virtual Boy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get both. So
you're gonna get the cardboard one too?
Yep. Not because I want it, and I had no intention of getting it until Victor talked shit about it when we first started. Oh, who the fuck is gonna buy this stupid $20 one? All right, motherfucker, I'll show you who's gonna buy it.
So, is this where we segue into financial responsibility? Is this what we do? Is this part of the show?
I think that point was
Victor said it sucks. I'm going to buy it to prove him wrong.
Good times.
Oh, escalated very quickly.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Almost like it went from 2 to 6.
But yeah, the only other thing to go back and like add with 3 is, I mean, not that anyone really truly gave a shit about the story in Mega Man. Oh my god, it's Dr. Wily again.
What a fucking story in any Mega Man.
Like whatever. But if you were looking for that, the story is basically non-existent or translated really badly. So that's a knock on 3. But like, if that's one of the only few knocks, it's whatever. But the game was also glitchy in places and clearly like unfinished versus 2. So that would be another huge knock on 3. But even with its flaws, like to go back to the question from before, where it's like, as a kid, that and still like my favorite, but looking at it more objectively, I know it's not quite there.
I mean, as a kid, I thought Mega Man was just like a robot construction worker who welds stuff, and like he just started fighting all the monsters that were attacking. Like the fact that there's actual stories to this game is mind blowing to me.
I mean, hey, the TV show showed a lot of this stuff, and it is what it is. It's a good watch. It's a good cheesy watch.
But isn't
X even appeared for a single episode?
Isn't Mega Man 2 the one where you get the title screen like comes up from the bottom and like goes up the tower? Right, yes. And then Mega Man is like standing on it, and his helmet isn't on, and like the digital wind is blowing and stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Best intro in the series. I do think 4, next one, is a close second. But yes, because after 4 they gave up. It was just 5 was Proto Man Scarf, and 6 was a planet. Like there was no intro to speak for. Same for 1. 1 was literally just the title screen, like not even any background, just black text, the Mega Man logo.
Fucking lost.
Yeah,
and actually, same with 3. Actually, so I guess another knock on 3.
Like
if we're talking about intro screens,
this is one of those things, like because like I said before, like I've only played. It would have been an NES, maybe a SNES versions of Mega Man. but that's as a kid. And none of this shit you guys are talking about, I would have ever even considered caring about as a child. You know what I mean? Like, oh, the intro screen. I don't give a fuck. Hit start, play the game. Like, that's just the stuff in my mind. So when I hear somebody or a group of you guys who are like more into it and passionate about these games, you're like blowing my mind with this whole new world of Mega Man that I've never even fucking paid attention to.
Yeah, but it wasn't just I don't know, man. Like in Mega Man 1, it was an intro screen, right? Like, but in Mega Man
God.
2,
There was no intro screen in 1.
well, no. What I mean is like it was just here, press start, right? What I'm saying is in Mega Man 2, it was like this moment. It was really cool when they did it. I remember booting Mega Man 2 up for the first time, right? And just seeing how it opened and how it started. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, even to this day, if I pop in a game to play, I don't give a fuck about that. I like, just let me play my game. I don't give a fuck. Like,
so just real quick, because it was mentioned in one of our episodes when like just through chat, obviously, because I wasn't here, but I did mention like Mega Man X is my favorite game like of all time. Period. End of story. And I'm only kind of like dropping that here just because like if anyone really has the interest to play one of the better Mega Man games, or if we don't actually get to the X series at all, I just wanted to drop that tidbit for now.
Does anybody want to acknowledge that Chris thought he was a tiny construction worker?
That was pretty funny.
I thought it was. Because to be fair, aren't some of his villains as like little yellow guys? That's what like small like construction hats. Like
they're all all the bad guys are construction in Mega Man 1. All of them.
Okay, so I wasn't off base. Like okay,
because cool. I mean, because they were all created to serve humanity before Dr. Wily was like, no, be evil.
Okay, so as a kid,
yeah,
he was a construction worker who just welded shit. That's why he had the fucking cannon for an arm, because he welded like rivets, and like he just had to go battle these fucking things.
There's some truth to that.
Hold on. Fucking Mario's a goddamn plumber. Why can't Mega Man be a construction worker?
I mean, there's logic there.
There is. It might not be great logic, but it's logic.
No, I don't accept it, but I get it.
And Tony's all, I reject it on premise, but I understand.
I'm not really making the connection either with the whole construction worker thing. It was just said that you need to take a trip to Japan for the controller job.
What?
For whichever controller it was that you didn't have.
No, I'm not.
That's Mirage saying he needs to go get the six.
No, I'm not doing that. I do want to acknowledge what Joe said though. The controllers they sold at Walmart are not the ones that I'm talking about, Joe. These are Nintendo. These are controllers produced specifically by Nintendo for the Switch console. They're Bluetooth, but they're created to the exact specifications, but most of the time using the exact same molds that have just been slightly retooled to allow for Bluetooth connectivity and to get rid of the opening of where the cord used to be. But yeah, it was just weird because here in America, we only got the 3-button like they had in the Genesis when it first released. But in America, and I think even in Europe, they released a 6-button controller. And you didn't even have the option to buy it here. Like you would imagine they'd be like, okay, well, here's $20, pay $20 more and you got the 6-button one. But they didn't do that. And in the other countries, you didn't have the option of the 3-button. You only had the 6-button. So who knows?
Wasn't that a fighting game option controller, basically? Wasn't it made because of fighting games?
Apparently, I'm a tiny construction worker, but I need to tell Spectre Gundam that no, I'm a car guy, unlike others in the chat over there who aren't car guys. So they'll understand.
Evidently, we were talking about the original 6-button Sega Genesis controller instead.
Yeah.
Which I got to tell you, and this has nothing to do with our thing whatsoever, but good luck playing Batman Forever on the Genesis with only a 3-button controller.
It sucks back then, and it sucked forever.
It sure fucking does, because that's how I played it, and fuck that game.
I love watching guys speed run the game.
Batman Forever?
It's fantastic. It's so bad, but it's fantastic.
I don't even want to watch somebody else play that game. The
closest it's like watching Superman. Superman
N64
was
watching the nerd play it.
I was just gonna say, Tony, did you watch Angry Video Game Nerd yet?
Mm-mm.
God damn it, Tony.
You had homework.
Yeah, you said you were gonna watch it.
Yeah, I say a lot of things.
This is true. At least you're watching Gotham, so kudos to you.
No, I'm
I
not
didn't do
watching
that either,
Gotham.
Chris.
That was a reference to the Turtles whatever versus Batman movie where Mikey freaks out and he's like Gotham is bonkers, yo.
Oh, I thought you were actually watching Gotham. I was proud of you.
No, I don't have anything on my list right now. I tried to do The Witcher, but it's like watching freaking Henry Cavill off of Wish now. It's like the guy looks so damn weird. It's what do you call Hemsworth's brother?
Yeah, Liam Hemsworth.
Shitty Hemsworth.
Well,
So-
they drove Henry Cavill away, so they get what they deserve.
That's so
So-
bad though.
Have we
Who
settled?
wants to have somebody that cares about the source material?
Yeah, exactly. It's like here's somebody who loves the source material, cares about it, but because he expected you to be faithful to it, you're like, that's not what we're doing. Well, if that's not what you're doing, I'm not doing it.
So basically, what you're saying is that it would be like if they made a Mega Man movie, and instead of casting Victor, they casted Psycho. Got it. Okay.
No, it's nothing like that at
It's
all.
exactly that. Because Victor loves the franchise, and you're all one's the best when it clearly isn't. So you don't
I
know.
didn't say one's the best. I said one is my favorite. There's a difference. 2 is the best. 1 is my favorite.
It's
So
not.
do you
but
okay?
you can
So
keep thinking that.
is 2 the best? Is 2 the best because it's better than 1, or is it truly because it's the best?
Like I said earlier, and Jose even said something about it. I can't click on it. Let me see if I can find it.
But
He mentioned that
I'm
it's-
asking, is 2 the best just because it's better than 1?
Well, no.
But,
So, like the reason I
You're not
point it
wrong.
to, and Jose articulated it earlier. So I'm just gonna repeat what he wrote. He said, "I look at it like this: if you look at the changes from Sonic 1 to Sonic 2, the jump from Mega Man 1 to Mega Man 2 was even bigger than that, right? And
Yes.
so my argument is, and again, I mean, it just makes logical sense. So it sounds stupid. There wouldn't be a 6 without a number 2, right? So like number 2 had to learn to run so that number 6 could fly. And so my thing is Mega Man 2 became what Mega Man was known for. Even Victor said, like Mega Man 2 through 6, the controls were essentially the same. They were perfect. I don't agree with his assessment that Mega Man controls better than Mario. I don't think that's accurate at all. But again, when he made that comment, he lumped 2 through 6 together. And my argument between them, and again, it's not that Mega Man 6 is a bad game. My argument is that Mega Man 2 did so many things to advance the franchise. It grew in so many ways from the first game to the second game that the rest of the games didn't really have to innovate. They didn't have to really change anything. The formula was there. Everything worked. Everything that was introduced in Mega Man 2 was essentially carried over. And the only kind of innovation we got was for people that were lazy and they didn't want to have to ride the goddamn dog. They wanted the dog in a jetpack, right? Like it was ways to make it easier. And Victor's all, oh, well, Mega Man 2 is the easiest game. But the subsequent games did things to make the game easier for the people who didn't want to do it. Like Tony said, oh, you can get on the bird and just run through things. Okay, well, what skill do you have in the game for doing that? The answer is 0. Mega Man 1, Mega Man 2 expected you to actually play the game and be good at it to do something, not skip the entire fucking level by riding a bird, right? Like
I mean,
So,
for one, that's not what
if-
you do, and 2, that's an interesting take for someone who hasn't played them. So like, but also, you know, with the whole controls thing, right? So we do add things. They're small, but we do add things. Going back to 3 real quick, you do get the slide. The slide is introduced in 3.
Yep.
And then moving on to 4, because we want to move past 3 at this point. With 4 is where you first get the Mega Buster, which is not just in the sense that, hey, here's my arm cannon, I can go pew pew pew. You can charge the shot, right? This is an iconic thing from this point forward in like pretty much all the games. So
And is critical later on in the other games.
Yeah, and that that's a big deal.
But again, would you?
So if
Go ahead.
Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
I'll say, would you argue then that the jump between Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 3 is as large as the jump between Mega Man 1 and Mega Man 2? Or
No.
the jump between Mega Man 3 and Mega Man 4 is as large? And that's my point. My point is that number 2 did so much heavy lifting that everything that was changed after that was minimal in comparison, right? And so the reason I read what Jose wrote is because it really puts things in perspective as far as I'm concerned. Sonic 1 was a good game, right? But the whole fucking game changed when you could do the spin dash. You couldn't do the spin dash in Sonic 1, right? And then Sonic 2 introduced this mechanic, and from that point forward, that's what Sonic is known to do. He's known to drop, do a spin dash, and go. And so for me, when you have a game that fundamentally changes the way that the game is perceived, and there's such a huge jump that everything that happens after that is minuscule in comparison, you have to then give that game that made all those changes a higher platform. Like they have to be on a higher pedestal because they did more work than any of the other ones. And again, I didn't say Mega Man 6 sucked. I didn't say it was bad. Most of the time I was trolling Tony just to say that Mega Man 2 was better, but it's because I do believe that Mega Man 2 did significantly more to advance the franchise and solidify it as an actual contender than any of the other games that came after that until we got Mega Man X.
Right. And I don't think anyone would necessarily deny that specific aspect of things, especially when it comes to controls, because the only thing that gets added are the things that I just mentioned. As far as the overall game
So
and the amount of game you get moving forward, that would change in a big way, because again, 3 would start the additional stages before Wily, which would then turn into their own. With 4 through 6, it would turn into, hey, here's the guy, you know it's Dr. Wily at the end, but here's this other guy in Wily-like stages leading up to Wily, which, in today's day and age, I guess you could consider padding depending on who you ask, but it's just more game. And if it's fun, then, to me, that's a good enough addition, right?
So the question I then have, if Mega Man 2 was so groundbreaking or change-worthy, whatever, you had that huge jump, that it then affected and made games 3, 4, 5, and 6, it made them what they were and what they became. So if it had that much of an impact that they were able to make that many games off of it, would that then say that Mega Man 2 had more impact than Mario? Because their games all changed. They never held one thing for 6 games because it worked so well and grew. Each game was fucking different.
Well,
so
remember
Mega Man 2 better than Mario?
Well, remember that's only in America, right? Because Mario 1 and Mario 2 were essentially the exact same game in Japan. We didn't get Mario 2. We got
But great, that's one game. You're talking about 6 games, or I'm sorry, 5 games versus 2 games at that point.
Yeah, so again, when you compare Mario as a franchise, not to get sidetracked, but when you compare Mario as a franchise, here in America, we got Mario 1, which was one thing. Then we got Doki Doki Panic 2, which was a completely different game. They just reskinned it as Mario because they didn't think Americans were smart enough or good enough to play the real Mario 2. And then Mario 3 was really the same, just with updated graphics, which is what was happening with Mega Man as well, right? We're not talking about just graphical upgrades. You see, and this is the reason why I think that Super Mario World is better than Mario 3, because Super Mario World completely advanced the game. It was an absolute evolution of Mario, and the argument against that would be there needed to be an evolution because you were going from 8-bit to 16-bit, right? So that weakens some of the argument about the evolution or the advancement of the franchise because the hardware changed, right? Whereas
the question still is
no, because
it's a different game. Of course it's different because you don't agree with it.
That's not
Mega Man. If Mega Man 2 affected, it did all this change. It had 5 games come from the change it had. Mario did not have that. Now you want to say because the systems changed? Great. They had plenty of time to make fucking 6 games for the NES. They didn't do it. They made it
Mario
for
also didn't have 6 games on the NES.
Mega Man didn't.
No, I said Mario didn't. So that's
exactly
that's comparing apples to oranges.
First of all, thank you for saying exactly what I just said when I said Mario didn't have 6 games on the NES. I appreciate you reiterating that.
So it's comparing apples to oranges.
So second, if Mega Man 2 was able to get that many more Mega Man games on the NES, that to me still says it's better than Mario because Mario couldn't get that many games on the NES. That's all. So Mega Man better than Mario. It's been confirmed.
No.
It's been confirmed.
Not at all.
That's it.
I don't like the fluid
the
of Mario. I never have. Like even as a kid playing the games, and we beat Mario 3 like 1,000 times. I never liked the mechanics of how, like, you would move Mario on the screen. If you took your hands off the controller, he'd still move like a frame or two. Like his feet would keep going.
That's why Mega Man was better.
That is what I'm talking about. So a friend and I that are not like I don't think like I obviously not in here, but I don't think in chat either. But you guys might know him because you were like in the group. Joshua, right? We have this thing where it's like if you kind of slide a little bit after you know that you let go of the controller, we refer to it as Mario foot. But that's exactly what you're talking about. And that exists with Sonic as well, which is why I argue that tight controls that Mega Man gives you is superior. That's my case. I am done. That's it.
Right.
It's like when you play Street Fighter. So I have a buddy that like professionally played Street Fighter for like the longest time. And he could count the frames and he could tell you like how many sections it was before something got to you. Like, you know, if somebody fired a fireball or some shit, he'd be like 1, 2, like, you know, and then you know to move and stuff like that. But it was the same thing. And I know it's a totally different game, but there's no, I in my head, I just call it drift. There's no drift. Like when you move your character around, they stop where you put them, you know, as opposed to Mario where it's like, I jumped. Oh, I'm still going. Like you're still drifting along the screen. And so like, it's not as clean or like solid the movements for you to calculate how many frames you got to jump to do something.
But it wasn't.
So basically, what you're saying. Oh, what you're saying is that like, it's been a long time since I played them, but in Mario, where you would like jump onto something, you might slide the fuck off and die. Mega Man, you jumped and landed, and that was it, right?
Yeah.
Like there isn't.
That's how it worked.
Yeah, for the most part, there's no like I jumped on this and then I walked another foot. Like, but in Mario, you can jump on something and he's like, oh, we're not stopped yet. Like he just keeps moving on the fucking screen.
Yeah. Sounds like Mario fucking controls suck compared
to
look,
that said, let me like stop that before this gets like also
programmed right? That way.
There's a reason Mario Maker exists, right? Like no one's shitting on the Mario controls per se. I'm just saying tight controls versus Mario Foot, which I did give context earlier, right?
Yeah.
Mario Foot, Sonic does the same shit. Like, sorry, tight controls win.
But see, here's the thing. Like, you guys are being shitty, right? Like,
how are we being shitty? We're literally explaining how the games work.
No. But see, you're not explaining how the game works. The game was programmed like that specifically. Mario was programmed like that specifically. Take your ass outside and run as fast as you can and try to stop immediately. Your body doesn't let you do that. You move a little bit after you've tried to stop. It happens.
I don't play games to simulate real life. Moving on.
Yeah. So Mario was programmed.
I'd go outside and run.
Mario was programmed to react like an actual human being. Mega Man, as a robot, was programmed to react like an actual robot, right? Robots can stop. They don't have the inertia. They don't have all that other stuff going on. And so to be like, oh, well, Mario's not programmed properly and the controls aren't fucking tight. The goddamn controls are tight. They do exactly what the creator wanted them to do. He didn't want Mario to stop on a dime like that because it's not realistic. There's going to be a little bit of drift. There's going to be a little bit of pushback. That's how it goes, right?
I think we confirmed why
to shit on
likes one so much.
Well, no, but to shit on the fact that the game plays exactly the way it was created to play is stupid.
Jose just dropped another great example. Ninja Gaiden also has tight controls like that.
Oh, but that's
And
a
he
ninja.
can wall
Ninja are
climb. So that's
trained
even
to be
more.
masters
That's even
of
more
stopping.
movement. Now, of course, in the first game, you only stuck to the wall. You couldn't climb up and down it yet. That was later. But same point. And there's even more movement in that. So this is the same type of tight controls that we're talking about here.
Those are
See,
hard
I'm
games.
going
Batman
back-
2, yes. See, we have examples.
Okay,
They
Batman.
exist.
Batman did not have tight controls. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
But it's
Turtles
this
stopped on
though.
a dime. The turtles didn't fucking moonwalk when you ran across the stream. They just stopped where they were.
Okay, hold on, guys. You're all talking about ninjas. Ninjas are different. They're not humans. They're ninjas. That's completely different. Regular people. I'm still going back to this idea of John saying like you run and you can't stop. Like if I run and I stop.
Yeah,
But if
your
I'm
body-
running
your
and
body
something
still tries
stops
to move
me,
a little bit.
listen. Fuck, you want to argue? Listen. If I'm running and something stops me without me being prepared to stop, then yes, the inertia is going to help it. But if I'm running, I know I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop when I want to fucking stop.
But
That's
that's
just it.
because you slow down first. You don't just immediately come to a dead stop. And if you did, then
It's
the
called
top part of-
preparation for the stop.
then the top part of your body would still try to move forward a little bit. Not that it would pull you down, not that you would fall over, but your
Again.
inertia would continue. It's a fucking science
Again,
principle. You guys
again,
are driving me
dipshit.
fucking
This is
crazy.
dipshit.
God damn, go to
you're-
school. Jesus Christ.
Learn the difference between knowing you're going to stop versus when I said if something's forced me to stop. Completely different things, dick face.
So
video game.
if I may, I want to take this back to where I feel things were more productive. To John's point of the
John doesn't have a
impact of 2. I wasn't going to say that, but going back to the point he was making with 2, like the impact, right? I'm also considering not just the controls, but also like the grand scope of what Mega Man brings to the franchise. I would make that same point with 4. At that point, you have everything that Mega Man currently has to offer and would offer moving forward. And it's conveniently after 4 where people started having franchise fatigue. There's 4 of them at this point. What the hell else could you possibly do? And the answer wasn't a whole lot. 5, there was some decent music. We had the whole Proto Man shtick with it. You had a pretty good final boss theme as well. You had, I think, beat actually was 1,000 times better in 5 specifically than 6. You can't really run the whole game per se with 6. And having beat specifically for the end of 5 was like how you beat that boss, really. But 5, while I like it, there's nothing special. Like it is the game where you could sit there and say, like, you know what? I don't know where this goes from here. I'm kind of bored, right? And 6 came so late into the NES life cycle that a lot of people had already moved on to X on the Super Nintendo, right? So a lot of people just flat out didn't play 6. But for those that did, you got some of the best visuals that not just the Mega Man series had to offer. Obviously, like, it's the latest game. I would hope they learned something, right? Like, it should look the best visually out of all of them. But
Yeah,
some of the better
IGN.
right. But
Soulsburg.
but some of the better visuals on the NES through its life cycle. I think its music was pretty good as well. Again, I do enjoy that. Like, no, you couldn't jump on Rush. You couldn't ride him in the water. You couldn't jump on his back to whatever. When you merge with Rush, you still have the jet. It's the same shit. And then the power suit, you could say it's gimmicky, but it also gave you access to the different paths. Some of the better secrets in the game. I'm not one of the people who knows how to get to those and does it well, particularly well, but it's a thing that exists, right? But this all goes back to the 4 point where it's like, that's where it stopped. Like, from that point, I understand the franchise fatigue, but if you did stick around, you got a real treat with 6.
So it sounds like 6 is better.
Which was quickly overshadowed by X.
Yes. So again, like, favorite game of all time.
Because again, most people did not play 6, as you said
Yes.
yourself.
Yep.
But most people that were Mega Man fans they didn't play 6. They goddamn played 2, and they were playing X before playing 6 if they played 6 at all.
Are you truly a Mega Man fan if you never went back and played 6 then?
I mean, if you if your parents did what a lot of parents did back then, which was get rid of your one console when they replaced it with another console, did you go back and buy an original console again just to play that one game as a child? Probably not.
I can't think of anybody I know personally whose parents got rid of a console because they bought another console.
Well, I can think of many people because that's how my game collection started. All of my cousins, as soon as they upgraded from one console to the next console, they got rid of their old consoles, and that's how I got all that shit.
I'm actually going to address both
throw it away, and I got it.
Great
I'm
job.
actually going to address both of those points from personal experience. When I got my NES, I mean, I was sad about it as a kid, but like, you know, growing up, I understood. My Atari 2600, I wonder where the hell it went. It got donated to a more fortunate, a less fortunate family member at the time. You know, as a kid, it's like, what the fuck? Where'd my system go? But you know, but now, like, I get it. You know, they didn't have something.
You almost beat ET, man. You needed that back,
right? but yeah, so that did happen. But the other thing for me as a kid, the only ones I owned, because I obviously played all of them, but the only ones I owned as a kid was 4 specifically as a birthday gift. And later on it was 6. Because I actually did have, unlike what happened with the Atari 2600 and the NES, I did have a NES and SNES eventually at the same time. So the only 2 I ever owned was 4 and 6. But some of the more fortunate friends that I have that were like right across the street or a block down, they had much bigger NES libraries and were responsible for a huge chunk of why I know a lot of classic games and got exposure to them.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I got my I had the NES a lot longer than everybody else that I knew because I didn't get my Super Nintendo until I think the year before the N64 came out. I got my Super Nintendo in the bundle that had Donkey Kong Country. So the first Donkey Kong Country game, there was a special bundle, and the box had like Donkey Kong art and stuff on it. And that was when I got my Super Nintendo. I think that was the year before the N64 actually was released. So like I was rocking that NES for a very long time. And again, as my family upgraded, especially my cousins like Trisha, my older cousins, as they upgraded to new consoles, here, you could have all this since this is what you still have. And they would just give me all of their stuff. A lot of my friends in the neighborhood, the same thing happened with them as well. They would upgrade, and they ended up just giving me their old stuff because their parents were like, oh, if you want this, you got to get rid of that stuff. And so I ended up being the beneficiary of a lot of that stuff. And I was able to play those games for a lot longer because I didn't have the money to upgrade myself. So,
like so many games on Super Nintendo shared the same engine. Like the same platform engine, they just skinned over it, right?
Probably. It would definitely cut down on development costs, that's for sure.
I'm just thinking some of the games, like we were talking about Batman earlier, Batman Forever, or Batman, the hell was the other one? Batman and Robin. I think Batman and Robin was the one that, what did it do? It ripped off the Mortal Kombat engine?
Well, no, that was Batman Forever. I don't think there was a Batman and Robin game. Batman Forever was the Mortal Kombat engine. There was the Adventures of Batman and Robin, the cartoon version, but not the movie version, Batman and Robin.
It's on Sega Genesis, but that's the animated one.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Victor has that one, I believe.
For the there was
series one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I've seen both. I personally think the Genesis one is infinitely better and quite possibly the best soundtrack on the Genesis, which I know is like a super hot take with the same system that has like the Streets of Rage games and Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. But go back and listen to
Streets of Rage.
Jesper Kidd, before he was known for scoring the Assassin's Creed games and other stuff after that, this was one hell of a feat that he pulled off on the Genesis that I don't think anybody else was able to do to the extent that he did. If you don't play the game, listen to the soundtrack. That's my recommendation.
To answer the question, I don't know where I got this shirt. I've had it for a while. And every episode, I try to find one of my pop culture shirts that I haven't already worn on stream to wear.
So basically, Spectrum, he said he got it from your mama.
I didn't say that at all, but okay. Like those words never came from my mouth, but okay.
So on the Super Nintendo, right? There's two ways this can go, because to continue like Mega Man, right? Classic and the X series would exist on the same system.
Because you had Mega Man 7 on the SNES.
Yes, Mega Man 7 was the only classic game on the Super Nintendo.
Yep.
But also the X series was going at the time. So you had Mega Man X, X2, and also X3. Also, I am definitely not disrespecting Yuzo Koshiro, unless maybe we're talking about Streets of Rage 3, which that, soundtrack is infinitely worse than the other two. But even that I can appreciate, because it kind of what he was doing experimental wise with the music. It's kind of like dubstep before dubstep. That's my quick comment on that. No disrespect at all. I just think
Mega Man.
I just think that
say dubstep before dubstep.
Yeah, just just listen to Streets of Rage 3 soundtrack. You'll see what I'm talking about. It was very different, experimental at the time. A lot of people hated it. Honestly, way back when, I kind of did too. I can appreciate it now for what it is, but yeah.
So I'm assuming, because of context, Mega Man X is not Mega Man 10?
No.
It is not.
No.
Huh.
Now, this was confusing as shit for me as a kid, but yes, it is not.
It's like, where's the other games?
There is a Mega Man 10, and a specifically numbered Mega Man 10, but we wouldn't get that until years later.
Yep. Oh, yeah, because like, he said Mega Man X. Like, all right, Mega Man 10. He's like, then Mega Man 7. I'm like, hold on, what?
I actually didn't know that till maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay, cool. So it wasn't really a dumb question.
I didn't know that there was X and then there was 10. I had no idea because I didn't play anything past X. I stopped there. I didn't. I say I didn't play. I didn't play them through. I didn't give them any time, if that makes sense. I would start them and it just didn't do anything for me. I didn't like. Maybe it's X2. Maybe when the damn game will give you a seizure because of all the shit going on the screen. You're like fighting a villain, and you're not sure if you're winning or not because there's so much shit going on.
All right, cool. Because I'm sitting here, because I'm thinking like
he's laughing because
Jason
he knows
X.
what I'm talking about.
No, because I'm thinking like Jason X. Like, oh, so obviously Mega Man X must be Mega Man 10. Wrong. All right, good to know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Did Mega Man 10 actually come out in like 2011 or 2012, something like that? Like it was
much later. So the 9 and 10, which actually went back to the more classic style in the sense of like graphics. That was on WiiWare, I think. Both ended up dropping on WiiWare way later. So that's what I'm saying, right? Because the X series existed alongside the classic series at the time. So I guess we'll just quickly go into it, right? And actually, where Mega Man, one of the games where Mega Man controlled, like, he was stuck to peanut butter. Mega Man 7. It's stiff. Mega Man was very weighty in that game, which made me not appreciate it for a very long time.
We're body shaming Mega Man. Fuck.
It does look very different. I do think the art's good. I think the intro stage is good. I honestly think the game overall, upon revisit, is pretty good. You just have to get over the fact that Mega Man controls infinitely different and is a much more weighty character in that one.
It needed to be different though, right? Like to differentiate it from the X series at the time.
Sure. And yeah, I mean that's a very fair point.
Because then people would be like, "Oh, you just made Mega Man X and you just reskinned it. It had to be different."
Yeah, and X, though of the two, X kept the tight controls and made them even better, more movement, kind of like the Gaiden thing. It goes right back to the point from earlier, but we'll get to that. So like but 7, and the thing with 7 is, regardless of how much you like it or not, I think it's probably the hardest, maybe outside of Mega Man and Base, specifically the final boss, the Wily fight in that game is exceptionally difficult and some legit controller throwing shit. But that's the only.
God damn it!
Yes, I did indeed say that Mega Man was stiff.
No, what Jose wrote is even better.
Stiff and tight, yes. Stiff and tight. However, the next game in the classic series, he's the complete opposite. He's loose. He's floaty in that.
You have Jose, the game where he controlled like how he looks on the original box's cover.
Yep.
Can one of you bring up the cover art from Mega Man 1 and like show the people in the chat? Like, is that something that you could do? Because I cannot, but that cover art is just notoriously terrible.
It looks like you can screen share on here. Chris, do you know how to do that, or should I try to maybe find it?
I got it.
I don't look shit up.
Tony's
That's usually
got
Tony.
And
Tony's
actually,
much better at looking shit up and sharing.
So we got to be weirdly specific here, right? Because do we want the original cover art for Mega Man 1, the NES box art, or do we want the parody of that in Street Fighter Cross Tekken?
No, just the
or
original.
What's even worse? Okay, original art. There it is.
One.
There we go.
There we go.
So terrible.
What the fuck is that? So I'm going to assume.
And he's got a
never...
fucking gun. He doesn't even have a cannon arm. He's got a fucking gun. It's so great.
Yep, it's so bad.
I'm going to assume that I've never played that one if I had to pick off of box art, because I would have never. Oh, I'm gonna play this fucking game. Like, no.
That's actually how I got the first Mega Man game. My older cousin bought the game and then opened it and was like, "What the fuck is this?" And just gave it. He's like, "I'm not playing this," and just gave it to me.
So do we kind of just want to go through the box art real quick? Because there's another point we can make.
Oh God, who would do that?
Oh my
That's
God,
terrible.
That's fantastic.
That's absolutely horrible. That is the stuff of nightmares.
That looks
Mega Man
like
sounds like a
he
horror at this
belongs
point.
in like that claymation Christmas fucking movie with like the fucking California raisins and shit. He definitely belongs there.
I'll be right back.
There are a lot of games across various platforms throughout the series, so Mega Man being a whore is a legitimate statement.
How about you forgot the another classic Mega Man game though, Victor, or classic style? You had Mega Man Soccer, classic style.
We don't talk about that. We also don't.
Even
talk
I know we saying that. Just get the fuck out of here with that.
But obviously that's a spinoff, so like we're not really going to count it anyway. But along those same lines, we also don't talk about Mega Man DOS.
Wow, I remember that.
Because holy fuck. And somehow that got a sequel. But the sequel to that was 3. They skipped 2 for some reason.
See,
equally as bad.
What you learn, Victor, is that when you talk about something and then John wants to bring up something else and he starts laughing first, it's something that doesn't count.
No, Mega Man Soccer is a funny game. I don't know that it's as terrible as Victor's leading it on to be. Was it an idea that was meant to happen? Probably not. But from my recollection of it, it wasn't a terrible game by any stretch of the imagination.
Mega Man Soccer is good in the same way that Kirby, Dream Course is great, or the other like Kirby spin-off game that I think was also on the Super Nintendo. Or maybe I'm thinking of a
can't see
different
anybody
system.
who's like, man, you know what? I want to play Mega Man, but I also want to play soccer. Let's play Mega Man Soccer.
I mean, you got Mario Strikers, Mario Baseball.
Well, yeah, we all know Mario likes to copy off of other people who did it first. We know that.
Kirby's Pinball was my favorite game as a kid.
See, those were great. Okay, so this is a whole other side conversation at this point. There were actually, so on the Game Boy, right, we had Kirby's Dream Land 1, Kirby's Dream Land 2. Those were your traditional platformers, right? And then they were good. They were both great. Then you had 3 spin-off games for Kirby. And I would argue all of them had their own charm to them. You had Kirby's Block Ball, which was basically Kirby Arkanoid. or Brick Break, whatever you know it by, right? You had Kirby's Pinball Land, which, like Sonic Spinball, is deceptively hard. They get you because it's pinball. Oh, it's gonna be easy. No, it's hard as shit. So there's that, right?
Pinball.
And also only had 4 levels like Sonic Spinball.
I used to play the shit out of that game though.
I
The
fucking
Kirby
love
one or the
Pinball.
Sonic one?
Kirby Spinball.
And then you also had Kirby Star Stacker, which the equivalent to that is like Tetris Attack.
Yoshi's Cookie, similar to that.
Yeah, similar to that too. Very similar.
The fuck?
Block.
They made a so you
Block
had a
ball.
Dr. Mario game, and then after Dr. Mario, because those puzzle games were good sellers, they made a Yoshi's Cookie game where you essentially were like stacking cookies and stuff.
That sounds.
There was
I
fun.
just
never
a regular-
understood Dr. Mario. It reminded me of
There was just
Tetris 2.
Tetris 2.
There's just Tetris. I know Tetris. There's a fucking 2.
Yeah.
Tetris 2 was color coordinated. My dad played the crap out of that game.
It's pretty
Tetris
decent.
2 was difficult.
I don't know. It's fucking Tetris.
Well, yeah, but you grow up playing Tetris one way, and then you start Tetris 2 for the first time, and they expect you to do things differently, and you're like, what the hell is going on? And then there's that learning curve.
It was a wild game.
Yeah, no, I get the idea. I'm just saying I've never even heard of it. Just Tetris. Like Tetris, just fucking Tetris. Like, huh? Interesting. Well, so I think we're gonna wrap this up. It's almost 10:30. It's went on longer than I was expecting. I honestly thought like, oh, this Mega Man conversation would be like a 45-minute conversation. We'll go on elsewhere, but you know,
I mean, there's a lot to
typical
discuss. There's a lot
Yeah,
to
there's-
discuss with Mega Man.
A good
And
another
what I-
hour of this shit.
So we
Well,
also
we
went
have
in a
through
lot
it.
of different directions. Like it's not like we were focused straight on Mega. Like it went in its normal course. So,
Well, you can't make
all right.
comments like Mario's better than Mega Man mechanics and expect not to have a conversation about it.
No, I agree. I didn't even know, but hearing the facts, like being the judge here and hearing both sides, I can't help but ignore the evidence that Victor brings to the table about the mechanics, and
Ignore the
Mario
evidence.
sucks. So
I mean, to begin with, 2 of you are automatically disqualified. So this conversation, I guess, would have to be between Victor and I.
well,
so
see, I'm the judge. So
yeah,
different.
On that note,
your
on that
judge
note-
isn't paired, sir.
on that note, I'm also going to say real quick, I do love Super Mario Brothers 3 and think it's one of the best NES games, if not the best NES game. So I'm just going to put that out there,
Just
right?
trying to
Even
stay
as
focused.
even as a Mega Man fan, but I still think when you control one versus the other, I've already said it, and with the bit of proof, so we're good there.
Mario controls suck. We no.
They don't suck. And you have no opinion. You barely play video games. Like, it's,
I
Well, I
play more
played
as a
the
kid
video
than I
games
play
that were
now.
being
I'm very
talked about.
specific about what I play now.
Well, I do have an opinion, and my opinion is that you're full of shit. So,
really, and my opinion is you have no opinion. So there you go. If all we're gonna do is go by opinions, and my opinion is you have no opinion, and so
Oh,
there's no
Jesus
reason to have this
Christ.
conversation.
So John's getting in his feelings, and we're off that. So yeah, with winding down here, Tony, is there anything you'd like to plug for next
God
week?
damn, I ain't saying shit.
Because
I
gets
will
in
not
his
be
feelings,
available
he
next
can't shut up
Thursday,
sometimes.
so you guys will have to find somebody else to argue with. So
what happened?
I won't be around next Thursday,
Oh,
so you'll have to find somebody else to argue with. And I have no idea what's going on for Tuesday yet. I mean, I'll be available. I just don't know what we're going to talk about.
that's fair. We never know, so it's all
Been a
good.
little slim lately. Maybe we'll get to talk about the rant that's about to happen with NECA.
What
What's
NECA
going
do?
on with NECA now?
Oh,
Did we just
yeah.
cover a rant last week?
Well,
No.
they sent out too many Aprils of the Fifth Turtle, and now they're emailing people saying, "Hey, send back your extras."
Didn't we already are we living in a
Twilight Zone?
time loop? Like,
Yeah.
didn't this
So-
already happen a couple of months ago?
Yes.
So what? Somebody in our group, I think it was Tim. I think it was
Tim.
Tim that posted it. I hadn't even seen that. It doesn't. I mean, sure, I haven't seen it on Facebook yet, but I mean, imagine that's where he got it from. Until I see more people showing like ones that don't say the same fucking person's name in every screenshot, then I'll say it's something. But until then, because like that's what happened with the Donnie's lab, was that you saw like different people sharing the exact same screenshot saying a different person's name. It was like, all right, 15 people shared the same screenshot. This didn't happen to 15 people. It happened to one person that 15 people shared. And people just started, oh my God, I can't believe this happened to you. It was like, it didn't fucking happen to them. Look at the names. So until I see more people.
Who's the Transformers guy?
Optimus Prime?
Jesus Christ. Who's the guy you're always talking about who does the Transformers?
Oh, my buddy Zach.
Okay, talk to him. See what he's up to.
About what?
Just life, you know, how he's doing and everything. Like Tuesday. Like
he's in like fucking Epic Universe right now. Like he's doing pretty good. Like I just talked to him earlier.
Now see if we can get him on Tuesday, man. There's a bunch of Transformers shit that'd be cool to talk about.
I will I'll ask him. See what he's doing. So Tuesday, Victor, do you have anything you want to plug? I know you do some streaming and stuff.
I mean, yeah, like, so I do occasional YouTube content, although I don't do much. So honestly, like, that's not even a great plug, but more so streaming. It's by the same name here, twitch.tv/KidMachinate. I just do stream from time to time. I'm currently streaming Ninja Gaiden 4, which I really need to get on because I am not renewing my Xbox subscription. So when that runs out on the 20th, if I don't have the game beat by then, well, sucks to suck. Also, outside of that, just to, I guess, rub salt in the wound, let me see if I can figure this out real quick. Just for the sake of what we're doing here, this is NES specific. When I went back and did my revisits, you could see 6.
Bigger?
Yes.
I'm old.
Chris needs glasses.
You can see the box arts, although some of them are the Japanese ones. Hopefully that's big enough. I have 6 and 4 respectively in S tier. I have the second game and the 5th game in A tier. My favorite, but not from an objective standpoint, my favorite is B tier. And C tier is the first game because, well, it just hasn't aged well.
It is so weird how that works out.
So what happens if you push delete this tier list?
I would assume it takes it off the internet.
Victor cries. Gotcha.
All his bullshit goes away. That's what happens.
Oh, man.
The only other things I want to kind of add is just simply appreciation. I want to thank you all for letting me come on here. I'm definitely up for a part 2 and or whatever related gaming stuff may or may not come up in the future.
Who knows?
You know,
we never
we'll see.
know. It's usually the week before for collectors. We figure out what the show is going to be.
It would be interesting.
Drinks and toys. It's usually the 20 minutes before we figure out what it's going to be.
It would be interesting to have Victor and Jose talk about Sonic. Sonic's not really something that I can talk much about until we get to modern Sonic, like Sonic Adventure. But I know Jose's a huge Sonic fan. Victor's a huge Sonic fan. Like, there'd definitely be some good stuff there.
Tony, are you a Sonic fan?
I played it as a kid, but it was one of those things I didn't get to it until Sonic had been out for a little while because I was playing on Nintendo platforms. I had a Master System, but I never got the Genesis. So I only got to play it when I'd go to like a friend's house. And the only reason I was excited about Genesis wasn't even because of Sonic. It was because Maximum Carnage came out. And I wanted to play that really badly, and it was on Genesis, at least the first time I saw it.
To be fair,
I played the Sonic games, but I mean, they're Sonic games. Okay.
Go ahead, Victor.
The thing with Sonic specifically is, like, yeah, I've played a good chunk of games. It's mostly the classic ones, though, or anything that stays along the lines of 2D, because a lot of the 3D games that are not Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, later on generations is kind of yikes.
I like the
not
Dreamcast
so great.
one. I like Sonic on Dreamcast.
Sonic Adventure.
Adventure and Adventure 2.
That was a great game.
You only have so many of the 3Ds past that point that are debatably good.
I mean, to be fair, the reason that I would recuse myself from a Sonic discussion until it got later is because the first Sonic game I actually enjoyed playing was Sonic 3, which a lot of people preferred Sonic 2. I thought Sonic 1 was meh. I thought Sonic 2 was okay. I enjoyed Sonic 3 because of the changed mechanics. I was never a big fan of Sonic and Knuckles. I didn't play it a whole lot, but I had a friend who that's all he wanted to play. And I thought the game was okay, but I was like, Sonic 3 is better. I just preferred Sonic 3. But when it came to, Sonic CD was all right. But when it came to Sonic Adventure, I was like, holy shit, this is an awesome game. Yeah, so all the other Sonic stuff I'd have to be very silent on, except for the Game Gear games that I had.
I agree with the Game of the Year discussion potentially, but we'd have to mute John continuously while you and I talk about Claire Obscure.
Well, what? Because he'll just say one game the entire time. That's probably predictable.
So I had a good time tonight.
I mean,
yeah. So yeah, we're out of here. Don't know what next week's episode is, but there will be a thumbnail eventually once I figure it out. Look out for that, and then I'll post something. Thanks, guys, for being here. Appreciate it. I know some of y'all passed your bedtime. And on that, I'm going to end this shit. And we only got 2 people watching. Later, Jose, and probably Joe.
stay in here, Victor. Don't leave yet. We got.
Night.